Okay, so today we are moving on to 5.3 writing proportions. So we are skipping the 5.2 extension. We'll come back to it. So make sure you're on 5.3 writing proportions, which is this page. Okay. One way to write a proportion is to use a table, which is what you see right below this. That is a table. Okay, so they're comparing last month to this month's purchase and total cost. So this is showing that last month they bought 2 ringtones and it cost them $6. And this month they bought 3 ringtones and they're trying to figure out how much 3 ringtones cost, which is why there's an X. Okay, and so after you do the table, you can use columns or rows to write the proportion. So in this first example, they used columns, which means the labels are on the same column. So we have ringtones in the numerator. So the numerators have the same units. So we have 2 ringtones and 3 ringtones on the top, and the denominators have the same units, which is dollars. Okay? So looking at this, you can also use the rows. So if you put ringtones on the left and dollars on the right, that would work as well. So you can do it either way. I usually do it the first way. So right here, the labels in the numerators are the same and the labels on the denominators are the same. But if it's easier for you to put them both on the left and the right and use the rows, you can do that. It's whatever is easiest for you. Okay. So in this first example, it says, a chef increases the amounts of ingredients in a recipe to make a proportional recipe. The new recipe has 6 cups of black beans. Write a proportion that gives the number X of tomatoes in the new recipe. Okay, so we're going to be using an original recipe and a new recipe. And then we're giving the number of tomatoes in the new recipe. Okay, so it will help to look up at the top example that we had. Or should last month, this month, purchase, and total cost. First thing you do is figure out your labels. Okay, so we are comparing the original recipe and a new recipe. And then it says the new recipe has 6 cups of black beans. Write a proportion that gives the number X of tomatoes in the new recipe. And so now we need black beans and tomatoes. And then you just fill in the information wherever it fits. So in the original recipe, that's over on the left, we started with 1.5 cups of black beans and 1 tomato. In our new recipe, we have 6 cups of black beans. It says that right there in the question. So 6 cups black beans. And then we're trying to find the number of tomatoes. So we're going to have X tomatoes. Okay. And that is our table. So if we wanted to use the columns or the rows, again, you can do it however you want. I'm going to use the columns. So that means cups is going to be on top for me. I have to have the same label on top. So we have 1.5 cups and 6 cups. And then on the bottom of 1.5, we have 1 tomato and then X tomatoes on the right. We'll set them equal to each other. And now we have to figure out what X is. Okay, hopefully you can do this in your head. If not, you have a calculator. Okay, but we're finding the relationship between these two. So how do we go from 1.5 to 6? Okay, think about it for a minute. Okay. And it is, we're going to multiply by 4. 1.5 times 4 is 6. If you weren't sure, all you had to do was 6 divided by 1.5 to figure out that it was 4. So we're multiplying by 4. Just like a fraction, whatever we do to the top or the bottom, we have to do to the other one. So on the bottom, we're going to multiply by 4 as well. 1 times 4 is 4, so x equals 4. So that means in our new recipe, if we use 6 cups of black beans, we have to use 4 tomatoes. That's what that means. So that is how you write a proportion. Now we're going to look at solving proportions using mental math. Yes, mental math means doing it all in your head. So you should not need a calculator whatsoever for any of these. Okay? So starting with 3 over 2 equals x over 8. We're figuring out how did we go from 2 to 8. Okay, just like our one above, we multiplied by 4. So we have to multiply our top by 4. 3 times 4 is 12. So that means x equals 12. Okay, so it's very simple. You're just using your mental math. On this one, up top, we're going from 5 to 20. We're multiplying by 4 because 5 times 4 is 20. Again, if you don't know that, just do how many times does 5 go into 4 or put in your calculator. Whatever we do to the top, we have to do the bottom. So we have 8 times 4 on the bottom, which is 32. So D equals 32. Okay, at any point, if you want to do these on your own, just pause the video and try it on your own. And then fast forward a little to see if you got it right. Okay, so I'm thinking, how do I go from 7 to 14? I know 7 times 2 is 14. Okay. So on the bottom, I have z times 2 equals 10. So this is just like z times 2 equals 10. Okay, I know that to solve this, we have to do the opposite of what it's doing. So we would divide by 2, and those would cancel out. Divide by 2 on this side. We would get z equals 5. Okay, plug it in over here. And 5 times 2 is 10, so it works. Next, we're going to the bottom. And how do we get from 24 to 8? We divide by 3. So we have to do that on the top. We have to do 21 divided by 3, which is 7. So we get x equals 7. Okay, this is the exact same question from above. So we have to go from 1.5 to 6. We do that by multiplying by 4. And then we have 1 times 4 on the bottom. So x equals 4, because 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, try this one on your own. Go ahead and pause the video if you need more time. But we're trying to figure out how did we go from 35 to 7. And we did that by dividing by 5. We're going to do that on the bottom, 2. So we're figuring out k divided by 5 equals 3. Okay, so you can show it like that, or you can show it like this. To solve it, we have to do the opposite. So since it's dividing, we're going to multiply. Let's multiply both sides by 5. Our 5's on the left cancel out. And we get k by itself. And it equals 15. Plug it back in. 15 divided by 5 equals 3. So that is correct. Okay, those are your notes. If you have any questions, let me know.